Picture someone who wakes up every morning ready to conquer the world, who turns ordinary Tuesdays into adventures, and whose energy could power a small city. If you're smiling because you know exactly who this reminds you of, chances are you're thinking of an Aries. Born between March 21st and April 19th, these fiery trailblazers are the Zodiac's equivalent of a double shot of espresso, invigorating, impossible to ignore, and guaranteed to get things moving. Aries don't just walk into rooms, they charge in with an electric presence that instantly lifts the energy around them. What makes them truly special isn't just their famous confidence, but how they use that fire to light up everyone fortunate enough to know them. Today we're exploring the 14 remarkable qualities that make Aries the most admired fire sign of the zodiac. These aren't just surface-level traits but fundamental aspects of their character that inspire everyone around them to live more boldly. From their fearless approach to life to their surprisingly tender protective instincts, by the time we're done you'll understand why Aries are often the friends who push us to apply for that dream job, the partners who convince us to take that spontaneous trip, and the colleagues who turn boring meetings into brainstorming sessions that actually produce results. In a world that often rewards caution, Aries remind us of the magic that happens when we dare to go first. 1. Fearless pioneers. Aries approach life with a level of fearlessness that leaves other signs both impressed and slightly exhausted. Where most people see obstacles, Aries see exciting challenges waiting to be conquered. This isn't reckless behavior but rather an innate understanding that regret usually comes from chances not taken. An Aries will be the first to jump into a new business venture, relocate to a different country on a whim, or try that bizarre-looking food at the restaurant. Their courage comes from a deep trust in their ability to handle whatever comes next, a trait that often inspires more cautious friends to step outside their comfort zones. What makes Aries pioneers particularly admirable is how they combine this bravery with action. They don't just dream about writing books, they finish the first draft in a month. They don't fantasize about traveling, they book the ticket first and figure out details later. This quality makes them natural innovators in their fields, always willing to test ideas that others dismiss as too risky. While their impulsive nature sometimes leads to stumbles, their willingness to fail publicly and try again gives others permission to take their own leaps. In a world full of people waiting for perfect conditions, Aries remind us that sometimes you just have to start. 2. Infectious enthusiasm. There's something almost magical about how an Aries can make the most mundane activities feel like grand adventures. Their enthusiasm isn't put on or temporary, it's a fundamental way of experiencing the world that makes everything seem more vibrant and possible. When an Aries gets excited about something, whether it's a new restaurant, a creative project, or a social cause, their passion spreads like wildfire to everyone around them. They have this uncanny ability to see potential where others see ordinary circumstances, turning simple gatherings into memorable events and routine tasks into fun challenges. This infectious energy makes Aries incredible motivators in both personal and professional settings. They're the co-workers who can make even tedious team-building exercises actually enjoyable, the friends who convince you that yes, you absolutely should take that dance class even though you have 2 left feet. What's remarkable is how their enthusiasm persists even into adulthood when many people lose that childlike capacity for wonder. An Aries in their 40s will approach learning to surf with the same wide-eyed excitement as a teenager, and that genuine delight in new experiences often becomes the spark that reignites other people's passions. In a world that can often feel jaded, Aries remind us how good it feels to be genuinely excited about life. 3. Shockingly honest. In a world full of social niceties and white lies, Aries stand out for their refreshing, sometimes startling honesty. They don't believe in hidden agendas or sugarcoating, what you see is exactly what you get with them. This direct communication style stems not from insensitivity but from a deep respect for authenticity and their belief that everyone deserves clear, straightforward interactions. An Aries will tell you if that outfit doesn't flatter you, if your business idea has flaws, or if you're being unreasonable in an argument, not to hurt you but because they genuinely want to help you improve. This quality makes Aries incredibly trustworthy friends and partners. You never have to wonder where you stand with them or decode their true feelings. Their compliments carry real weight because you know they wouldn't say it if they didn't mean it. In professional settings, this honesty makes them valuable team members who can cut through office politics and get to the heart of issues quickly. While their bluntness can occasionally ruffle feathers initially, most people come to appreciate having someone in their life who tells them the truth with no ulterior motives. In an era of carefully curated social media personas and ambiguous communication, Aries remind us of the power and freedom that comes with radical honesty. 4. Born leaders. Aries don't have to try to lead, it's simply in their nature to take charge when situations demand action. They possess an innate ability to assess chaotic circumstances quickly, make decisive choices, and mobilize people toward solutions. This leadership isn't about ego or control but rather their fundamental inability to stand by passively when something needs to be done. In emergency situations, you'll often find Aries instinctively stepping up to direct others, not because they necessarily want the responsibility but because they can't not help when action is required. What makes Aries leaders particularly effective is their combination of vision and willingness to be in the trenches. They're not the type to delegate tasks they wouldn't do themselves. An Aries manager will work late alongside their team when deadlines loom. An Aries parent leads by example rather than just giving orders. This hands-on approach earns them genuine respect rather than just compliance. Their leadership style also encourages independence in others, rather than micromanaging. They give people the tools and confidence to take initiative themselves. In times of uncertainty or transition, having an Aries at the helm can mean the difference between paralysis and progress, as they naturally project the confidence needed to move forward even without all the answers. 5. Competitive in healthy ways. Aries approach life with a playful competitive spirit that turns ordinary activities into thrilling challenges. For them, competition isn't about putting others down but about pushing everyone involved to perform at their best. An Aries will turn a simple gym session into a friendly race, a work project into an exciting challenge, or a board game night into an epic tournament, not because they need to win, but because they genuinely believe everyone has more fun when they're trying their hardest. This competitive energy is contagious, often inspiring normally laid-back friends to discover their own drive. What sets Aries apart is how they use competition as a motivational tool rather than a way to dominate. They're just as likely to cheer for others' successes as they are to celebrate their own wins. In workplace settings, this translates to Aries managers who create incentive programs that actually excite their teams or Aries colleagues who make meeting sales targets feel like a group mission rather than a chore. Even in personal relationships, this quality manifests in positive ways: the Aries partner who turns fitness goals into friendly contests or the friend who challenges you to read more books this year than last. In a world that sometimes views competition as negative, Aries remind us that when done right, it can bring out the best in everyone. 6. Incredibly resilient. When life knocks an Aries down, they have an almost supernatural ability to bounce back stronger than before. Their resilience isn't just about enduring hardships, it's about transforming setbacks into fuel for future success. An Aries who experiences failure doesn't wallow in self-pity, they analyze what went wrong, adjust their approach, and charge forward with renewed determination. This quality makes them inspiring figures during difficult times, as they demonstrate through action that obstacles are temporary and surmountable. What makes Aries' resilience particularly admirable is how they combine emotional toughness with vulnerability. They're not afraid to admit when they're hurt or when a situation has shaken them, but they refuse to let those feelings paralyze them. An Aries might cry over a career disappointment one night and be brainstorming new strategies the next morning. Their ability to process emotions quickly and return to action gives others permission to do the same. In professional settings, this makes them invaluable during crises, the colleagues who keep teams motivated when projects go awry. In personal relationships, they're the friends who help you see the light at the end of the tunnel when you're going through tough times. In a world that often feels unpredictable, Aries demonstrate that true strength lies not in avoiding falls but in how quickly and gracefully you recover. 7. Shockingly generous. Beneath their bold exterior, Aries possess hearts of gold that express generosity in the most spontaneous and heartfelt ways. Their giving isn't calculated or performed for recognition, it's an impulsive overflow of their passionate nature. An Aries will literally give the shirt off their back to someone in need, donate their last $20 to a cause they believe in, or drop everything to help a friend move apartments. What makes their generosity special is its immediacy and lack of strings attached. They give because it feels right in the moment, not because they expect anything in return. This quality manifests in both material and emotional ways. Aries are generous with their time, their energy, their compliments, and their second chances. They're the friends who will stay up all night helping you prepare for a big presentation, the coworkers who will take on extra work without complaint when someone's struggling, the strangers who will enthusiastically cheer on someone else's success. Their generosity often has a catalytic effect, inspiring others to pay it forward. While their impulsive nature means they sometimes give more than is sustainable, at their best they demonstrate that true abundance comes from circulation rather than accumulation. In an often self-centered world, Aries remind us how good it feels to give freely from the heart. 8. Masters of motivation. Aries possess an innate ability to ignite motivation in others that puts professional life coaches to shame. Their motivational magic doesn't come from rehearsed pep talks but from their genuine belief in people's potential. When an Aries tells you you're capable of something, their absolute conviction makes you start believing it too. They have this uncanny knack for identifying exactly what someone needs to hear to push past their doubts, whether it's a tough love reality check or gentle encouragement at just the right moment. What makes Aries motivators particularly effective is their willingness to walk the talk. They don't just tell you to take risks, they share stories of their own failures and comebacks. They don't just encourage you to pursue your dreams, they're living examples of what happens when you dare to try. In workplace settings, this makes them natural mentors who accelerate others' growth. In personal relationships, they're the friends who somehow always know when you need a push versus when you need support. Their motivational style isn't one size fits all but intuitively tailored to what each person needs most. In a world full of self-doubt and procrastination, Aries provide the spark that helps others take that crucial first step toward their goals. 9. Spontaneous adventurers. Life with an Aries is never predictable in the best possible way. They infuse ordinary days with spontaneous adventures that become legendary stories. An Aries doesn't need elaborate plans to make memories. They'll turn a quick coffee catch-up into an all-day exploration of hidden neighborhood gems, or convince you to drive to the beach at midnight just to see the moonlight on the water. Their spontaneity isn't reckless but rooted in a deep understanding that the most meaningful experiences often come from unplanned moments. This quality makes Aries incredible travel companions, romantic partners, and friends who keep life exciting. They're the ones suggesting last-minute concert trips when your favorite band comes to town, or turning a boring Sunday into an impromptu potluck with neighbors. What's remarkable is how their spontaneity often leads to serendipitous opportunities and connections that more cautious approaches might miss. While their fly-by-the-seat-of-their-pants approach sometimes needs balancing with more practical energies, at their best Aries remind us that life isn't meant to be scripted. In an overscheduled world, they preserve the magic of saying, "Why not?" instead of, "Maybe later." 10. Protective of loved ones. While Aries are known for their independent streak, when it comes to their inner circle they transform into fierce protectors. Their defensive instincts kick in the moment someone they care about is threatened, whether physically, emotionally, or professionally. An Aries will confront your toxic ex, defend your reputation when you're not around, and stand up for you in situations where others might stay silent. This protection isn't about control but about their fundamental belief that everyone deserves to feel safe and supported. What makes Aries protectors special is how they balance fighting your battles with empowering you to fight your own. They're not the type to foster dependence, they'll stand beside you while you find your voice rather than speaking for you indefinitely. In romantic relationships, this manifests as partners who encourage your independence while always having your back. In friendships, they're the ones who will call you out on self-sabotage while simultaneously building you up. Their protective nature extends to standing up for broader principles too. Many Aries become passionate advocates for social justice causes. In a world where people often look the other way, Aries demonstrate that true strength includes shielding others from harm. 11. Surprisingly creative. Aries' creativity often gets overlooked amidst their more obvious dynamic qualities, but it's one of their most impressive traits. They approach problems with innovative solutions that more conventional thinkers would never consider. An Aries doesn't see limitations, they see puzzles waiting to be solved in unconventional ways. This creativity manifests in everything from how they decorate their living spaces to how they negotiate business deals to how they resolve personal conflicts. What makes Aries' creativity unique is its spontaneous, action-oriented nature. They don't wait for inspiration to strike, they dive into projects and figure things out as they go. Many Aries artists and entrepreneurs produce prolific work not through meticulous planning but through this process of fearless experimentation. Their creative energy is also highly contagious. Brainstorming sessions with Aries often generate twice as many ideas precisely because their enthusiasm removes others' mental blocks. While they may occasionally benefit from pairing with more detail-oriented signs to execute their visions fully, at their core Aries remind us that creativity thrives on action rather than overthinking. In a world that often prioritizes perfection over originality, they demonstrate the power of bold, imperfect creation. 12. Emotionally courageous. Aries approach emotional vulnerability with the same bravery they apply to physical challenges. They're willing to have difficult conversations most people avoid, to express their feelings openly even when it's scary, and to sit with others in painful moments without trying to prematurely fix things. This emotional courage stems from their fundamental belief that truth, even uncomfortable truth, is always preferable to avoidance or pretense. What makes Aries emotionally brave rather than just blunt is their capacity to balance honesty with compassion. They'll tell you hard truths about your relationship not to hurt you but because they believe you deserve authenticity. They'll share their own insecurities and failures not for sympathy but to create space for genuine connection. In romantic relationships, this makes them partners who address issues head-on rather than letting resentments fester. In friendships, they're the ones who will gently point out when you're settling for less than you deserve. While their direct approach sometimes needs tempering with more diplomatic energies, at their best Aries demonstrate that true intimacy requires the courage to be real. In a world full of surface-level connections, they remind us that depth comes from willingness to go there. 13. Eternal optimists. Aries possess an unshakable optimism that sees potential where others see dead ends. Their hopefulness isn't naive but rooted in first-hand experience of how often life surprises us when we dare to keep trying. An Aries who's been knocked down 10 times will genuinely believe the 11th attempt might work, not because they're delusional but because they understand that success often comes down to persistence. This quality makes them beacons of hope during challenging times, the friends who can always find the silver lining when you're drowning in clouds. What makes Aries optimism particularly powerful is how it combines with action. They're not just positive thinkers but positive doers, their hopefulness fuels concrete steps toward improvement. In professional settings, this makes them innovators who push teams to try new approaches when old ones fail. In personal growth, they're the ones who view setbacks as setups for comebacks. Their optimism is also highly contagious. Spending time with an Aries when you're feeling discouraged often results in catching their can-do attitude. While they occasionally benefit from tempering their optimism with more cautious perspectives, at their core Aries remind us that believing in possibilities is the first step toward creating them. In a cynical world, their hopeful spirit is a rare and precious gift. 14. Inspirational role models. Aries ultimately inspire others simply by how fully they embrace being themselves. Their willingness to take up space unapologetically, pursue their passions relentlessly, and live authentically gives everyone around them permission to do the same. An Aries doesn't have to try to be inspirational, their mere presence often challenges others to examine where they might be holding themselves back. They're walking proof that life expands when we dare to go after what we truly want. What makes Aries such powerful role models is how they normalize courage as a daily practice rather than a grand gesture. They demonstrate through countless small actions that it's okay to want more, to change your mind, to start over, to take up space in the world. Young people especially benefit from Aries' influences during formative years, as they provide counterexamples to messages about playing small or waiting your turn. Even Aries' flaws become teaching moments, as they model how to acknowledge mistakes and keep moving forward. In a world that often pressures people to conform, Aries remind us that the most inspiring thing anyone can be is unapologetically themselves. After exploring these 14 remarkable qualities, it's clear why Aries holds such a special place in our lives and hearts. Their combination of courage, passion, and authenticity makes them natural leaders who inspire everyone around them to live more boldly. Aries don't just talk about dreams, they chase them. They don't just wish for change, they create it. They show us through action what's possible when we refuse to let fear dictate our choices. As we conclude, take a moment to appreciate the Aries in your life, the friends who pushed you to apply for that job, the partners who convinced you to take that leap, the colleagues who turned challenges into adventures. Their fiery spirit makes the world more exciting, more honest, and more alive. If you're an Aries watching this, know that your boldness matters more than you realize. And if you're lucky enough to love one, don't wait to tell them how they've inspired you. In a world that often rewards caution over courage, Aries light the way forward. Hit like if you appreciate the Aries in your life, subscribe for more Zodiac insights, and share in the comments, how has an Aries inspired you? Let's celebrate these fiery trailblazers together. The world needs more of their fearless energy.